Pakistan's profile has risen to a level where that its presidency of SCO will bring further credibility to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization itself. Pakistan has now emerged as a player to reckon with.
Ambassador Aizaz Ahmad Chaudhry is the chairman of Sannobar Institute and he was also Foreign Secretary of Pakistan. He's joining us today from Islamabad and we'll ask him about Pakistan becoming SCO's president, its significance, and if Pakistan will be able to use the influence of that position to further its objectives in the region. Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. If I can start by asking you about Pakistan's SCO presidency. On the 1st of September, Pakistan will be made the president of SCO for the next year, and Pakistan will obviously host heads of states meeting next year. For somebody who does not know much about SCO and what the presidency actually entails, if you were to explain what is the significance of Pakistan becoming the president of SCO?
Shanghai Cooperation Organization started with China, Russia, and Central Asia, but expanded to include several other countries of Asia mainly. And this has assumed more importance in the wake of the fact that global institutions such as United Nations are now weakening and respect for international law has decreased in these times of world in disarray or world order in disarray. So Shanghai Cooperation Organization represents a hope that through multilateral cooperation, the countries of Asia can lead the world in international relations based on principles of intergovernmental and interstate relationships, which were enshrined in the UN Charter. Shanghai Cooperation Organization includes China and Russia, as well as India and many others, and its focus is not only economic, it also has security dimension to work on, and also anti-terrorism. There is a RATS framework, which is a regional anti-terrorism framework. And I think Pakistan, assuming that presidency next year of this organization, we, by the way, already have, I think, presidency of the RATS, and we are also the president of the commercial segment or commercial
Business Council, I think.
That's right, of this organization. So it appears to me that Pakistan, having already increased its profile worldwide and particularly in this region after it defeated India's aggressive designs in May 2025 and after it emerged as the main peacemaker in the US-Iran conflict, I think Pakistan's profile has risen to a level where that its presidency of SCO will bring further credibility to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization itself. And I'm very sure that Pakistan's presidency will infuse new spirit to the work of this organization.
Mr. Ambassador, for those who would want to downplay Pakistan assuming the presidency, they might use the argument that, this is something that is a rotating presidency. Nothing significant in that. Every year the presidency changes, so Pakistan is not going to gain much out of it. What do you say to that? And what influence would Pakistan have on the SCO as the president?
You see, every organization has rotation as the key principle for managing its offices. And it is not something unique to SCO. Yes, it will be rotational. Yes, it will be time barred for 1 year, but that is quite normal. In fact, it is healthy for an organization because every time a new member assumes its presidency, it brings its own imprint and it brings its own strength to that organization. Pakistan, as you can well imagine, has recently gained much greater credibility as a military power and as a peacemaker. And therefore, I think Pakistan will be able to contribute at least in these two domains, but also much more in the economic domain. Let me explain. Pakistan sits at the confluence of three sub-regions of Asia: South Asia, Central Asia, and West Asia. And given our recent high profile, I am very sure this economic geography of Pakistan will further push the organization to bolster its activities for connectivity between these three sub-regions of Asia. I know that there are impediments also because India, for example, has not been very active in SCO because India's priorities lie elsewhere, mainly with the United States of America. So, therefore, there will be some sort of slowdowns, but on the whole, this organization now has gained momentum, and I'm sure, despite India's resistance, we should expect some greater push towards connectivity between various states that now constitute the membership of the SCO.
Mr. Ambassador, you mentioned a very important keyword here, imprint. And I would assume that by imprint, you mentioned that Pakistan would be able to influence the agenda of the SCO for the coming year. Am I right in assuming that? And if Pakistan does have that capability to influence the agenda, one pressing issue, as you already mentioned, is counterterrorism, the RATS framework that you mentioned. Would Pakistan be able to push Afghanistan, which has an observer status at the SCO? Would Pakistan be able to bring that up vis-a-vis the RATS framework?
You see, for a good 10 years, India has been trying to project Pakistan's image as a country associated with terrorism. The recent developments that have taken place in West Asia have now clearly established that it is not Pakistan which is associated with terrorism. Pakistan is in fact associated with peacemaking, and it is India which is now carrying out terrorism, proxy terrorism, through organizations based in Afghanistan. Now, this is a very sensitive issue for Pakistan because one, the soil of Afghanistan is being used against Pakistan, and two, India is carrying on its Operation Sindoor via proxy terrorism. Certainly, SCO will provide a forum where Pakistan can sensitize other SCO member states of the game plan that India has launched through Afghanistan. And I think it will be important for the world to know the reality because for good 10 years, India has been trying to mislead the world about the role that Pakistan has played in countering terrorism.
And would Pakistan be able to raise the TTP question at the forum? Is that a possibility? Because the last time Pakistan was there, Pakistan did.
Why not? I don't understand because Pakistan is getting hurt by the TTP, which is based in Afghanistan and which is receiving support not only from the ammunition and arms left by the United States when it exited the country in 2021, but also from tacit support from the Afghan Taliban government and as well as the Indian government, which before 2021 was so much against Taliban, and now in the enmity against Pakistan, they have united their ranks with the Taliban Afghanistan. So yes, Pakistan should raise how proxy terrorism through Afghanistan by way of TTP and BLA is being sponsored by external hands. And I think the world should know the reality and the truth.
Mr. Ambassador, you mentioned last year's war, and ever since Pakistan's profile has risen considerably. And if I were to look at the forums or the multilateral forums that Pakistan has been a part, if you look at the West, Board of Peace, which Pakistan is a founding member of, And then there is Middle East, where Pakistan has had this trilateral defense agreement, and now Pakistan is going to become the president of an organization which essentially is the main organization of the East. What does that say about Pakistan's diplomatic strength, considering the fact that you yourself used to manage Pakistan's foreign policy?
I think it says a lot because Pakistan has now emerged as a player to reckon with. It is no longer, dominated by these conflicts with Iran, with India or Afghanistan. I think Pakistan has shown that it has a much greater potential to contribute to peace and stability, not only in our own region, but to the world at large. So I think Pakistan's profile today will give more strength and resilience to the work of the SCO rather than the other way around. It's not just SCO's presidency bringing laurels to Pakistan. I think now Pakistan is also bringing much more prestige to SCO, which, as you know, has on occasions been shunned by India, or India has been a sort of reluctant participant of SCO, whereas Pakistan has always shown full respect to SCO. And both Pakistan and India had joined the organization in 2017 together. But I think Pakistan's contribution to the work of SCO stand out quite sharply in contrast with India's reluctant participation.
Mr. Ambassador, lastly, next year around this time, Pakistan will be hosting the heads of states meeting of the SCO. And that would essentially mean that Pakistan may host President Xi Jinping or President Putin or other regional heads of states of SCO. Talk me through how significant would that be for Pakistan's profile for Islamabad to host all these heads of states in Islamabad?
I think that will be a great occasion because President Xi has last visited Pakistan in April 2015. It's been 11 years to welcome him on Pakistani soil and to participate not only in the SCO meeting, but also bilateral meeting with our leadership will certainly give further fillip to an enormously important economic agenda between Pakistan and China, most notably through the second phase of CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. Likewise, President Putin's visit to Pakistan has been in the offing for a long time. I think Pakistan has normalized its relations with Russia ever since the Cold War ended. And I think it is about time that Russian president also visits Pakistan. As it is, the Russian president had launched an initiative in 2015 called Greater Eurasian Partnership. And so in that context, I think it will be important for Russia to be in Pakistan for this organization, but also for bilateral elements. Likewise, there will be many other heads of state and government whose presence in Pakistan will provide an opportunity to boost Pakistan's bilateral relationship with all those countries. I'm not sure about India, at what level India will be represented, but of course, all other countries will be represented at the highest level, and that should be a sort of point of great strength to Pakistan.
And lastly, Mr. Ambassador, when the summit closes in September 2027, what would tell you Pakistan's chairmanship actually worked? What is that one thing that has to happen which will make Pakistan's presidency successful?
Well, Pakistan is here as a factor of peace and stability for our part of the world. Pakistan is already emerging as a net stability provider for West Asia, and I believe it can play the same role for Central Asia, but also South Asia. Although South Asia is sort of dominated by the larger presence of India, which has resisted and impeded regional cooperation. But I think Pakistan's now newly gained profile will send a very clear message that Pakistan is here as a net stability provided for our region.
Mr. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.